Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. All persons having anything to do before the Honorable Beverly Cannoni, Justice of the Superior Court, holding in Dedham within and for the County of Norfolk. Draw near, give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. This court is in session. Please be seated.
Good morning, beautiful humans.
It feels like a Monday, Wednesday, right?
But I'm excited, of course, like everybody, because here we are for, we're going to get to the cross-examination of Jen McCabe.
It feels like we have been in trial for quite a lot.
Day 7 of the trial, and we have Jen McCabe on the stand.
And Jen McCabe is kind of pivotal to the defense case, kind of pivotal to the Commonwealth's case as well.
It's my guess that this is going to take the rest of today. I can't imagine that they'll be done. They are barely through her direct testimony.
And then we're going to be jumping into the cross. Should be a banger of a day. So I'm excited for it. I hope you're all excited for it.
Her stories have changed so many times. And
either she is like this evil person who's masterminding a whole plot against Karen Reed, or she's a innocent sainted victim.
All right, let's roll this shit show. Let's roll this shit show going. Let's go.
It's April 30th. So all day you're going to hear me say, it's gonna be May. Because I can't, look, man, Zennial Millennial, it has to happen.
this is gonna be a good one.
You ready to go to court? I'm ready to go to court. Are we all ready for AJ versus Jen McCabe round 2?
I do think overall her demeanor and her presentation is better round 2.
She comes off as very credible.
Because I think overall her testimony was more likable than at the first trial.
Last time she came in and she was all business bitch.
She was a bit aggressive round 1.
And she was rude and defiant and angry.
She definitely felt like she had a dog in the fight, no pun intended.
I want whatever drugs she's on. That's all I'm saying. Whatever she's on, give me the Jen McCabe special.
No matter how much I think she comes off as a bit unempathetic.
Because that looks like a great time. Whatever mushrooms or fucking gummies she took.
She still was very credible up there.
I want all that. Just inject it in my veins.
I don't know if the jury would be on board with him just coming out of the gate. Like, what the fuck?
People are like, oh, he's going to hammer. That's not the approach with this witness.
Be a little bit softer.
He's going to have to be careful with it.
If you come out of the gate guns blazing, it could be off-putting.
He's going to have to let her pick the fight.
Here we go. What do you got, Mr. Jackson?
He starts off, last time we talked to Carrie, this morning.
Hey, boo-boo, you talking to your bestie on the drive over?
Remember, he's trying to paint this whole idea that Carrie, that she's always in contact with Carrie Roberts and they're kind of coordinating their stories together.
That's a great opening question.
He starts asking her, were you coached basically to change your demeanor and how it was from the first trial to how it is today? Because it's very different, basically.
She's much more careful. She's much more sweet.
She's a different person.
She's coming off real different here, isn't she?
What about any discussion about your demeanor and how you performed in the last proceeding? Objection.
He went there.
And maybe giving the jury a little, she's doing much better. To me, that also is kind of an admission that Jackson thinks she's doing much better this trial than she did the last one.
She's being more cooperative. She's not really arguing as much.
I'll ask it a different way. What about your demeanor? I'm using probably a poor word, perform. Mm-hmm. How you came across your demeanor in the last proceeding.
Smiling more. She's much more calm this time around than she was the first time around.
Objection.
What?
Did you discuss changing your demeanor in any way, shape, form, or fashion from the last trial?
So she's definitely putting an effort into making it look like she has no dog in the fight and she's just trying to help her friend, John O'Keefe.
She's being helpful, Jen. I'm just here to help.
No, I was just told to slow down, answer the question, and, answer it to the best of my memory.
I think she is editing herself based on the internet, but I don't think Brennan told her to do that.
Was there any discussion about crafting your testimony in any way to suggest a softer approach?
No.
Was there any discussion?
Suggest a softer approach, meaning her approach might have been a little harsh last time, but I got to be honest, regardless of what he says, I think she presented better this time.
Someone who's not argumentative, not someone who's not combative.
So far, she is holding up pretty well in my view.
The FBI just showed up out of nowhere on April 10th, 2023. They just showed up.
One of the first calls you made after being contacted by these other law enforcement officers from a different agency, one of the first calls you made was to Carrie Roberts. Is that right?
Yep.
She was the first one.
One of the first ones.
That's what I'm asking. One of the first two calls you made, your husband,
Right.
come home, there's law enforcement outside my door. I'm guessing is what you said, correct?
I mean, to be fair, if the FBI showed up at the door or CSIS or whatever else, I suspect Mrs. Runkle would phone me and be like, "Get home right away."
And you told them that you had called Carrie Roberts before they interviewed you, correct? At that moment.
I'm not 100% sure, but if you have it, it seems like something I would do, but if you have it, could show me.
Absolutely.
No, she wants to see it again.
She's really trying to get the jury to like her and believe her now. She's really desperate and nervous.
Don't show it to her. She's going to read the whole 302. You know that. You know that. Just ask her, do you deny it? And she'll say no. And then she doesn't get to look at it.
You wanted to let Ms. Roberts know that you had been contacted by certain officers from a different agency, correct?
I was curious if they had already been to her.
Now, the FBI didn't come for Carrie Roberts yet at that time.
We're going through this whole experience together. We call each other about everything. That's nothing more than that. I'm sorry.
Let her finish her answer.
Why is Bev allowing her to finish her stories, man?
Look at telling Jackson, no, let her finish. This is, she's trying to do damage control. The judge is trying to do damage control for this witness as well as Brennan.
I don't know. It's a yes or no question, but she's allowed to ramble. And Beth, what were we going to say? Go ahead and finish your story.
Yeah.
Trying to play to the jury.
Oh, she's going to cry.
There's nothing more than me calling and saying, hey, did they come to your house? That's what we did when the media showed up.
Yeah. Well, Jackson should let her talk. You know, when someone starts rambling on in court, let them speak, because she's going to just dig herself into a deeper hole.
When Miss Reed's private investigator showed up, we just give each other the heads up. Hey, somebody's coming. Because we're just like normal moms. We're not used to this.
We're just normal moms.
Because she constantly wants to remind you that she's just a normal mom, just doing normal mom stuff. Normal moms don't murder. No. That's ratchet moms do that, not normal moms. No, normal moms don't do that.
In making sure that the stories she tells are consistent with the stories you tell to different law enforcement agencies, correct?
No, we are not telling stories.
So let her finish. You said no what?
When we had bad guys and we're talking to them, okay, when they would try to over-explain what they were doing, 199% of the time they were lying.
I said, no, we're not telling stories. We don't have to compare.
We don't have to compare, but that's like exactly what you did. I would have just said we're not telling stories. Again, I'm nitpicking here with individual words, but that stuff's important.
There's no inquiring. It's like when when the ice cream truck was at the street next door and I'm saying, did the ice cream truck come?
That's what she compares the FBI showing up to her house to question her. This is like the ice cream truck showing up like when you're a little girl.
It's really that simple.
Because the feds come to your door all the time, like the ice cream truck? You asked a question.
Not about an ice cream truck.
An argumentative question. Good humor has entered the chat.
Look at her turning her neck all the way over to look at this judge like, yes, please rescue me. Give me a lifeline.
So in case you didn't hear what Judge Cannoni just said there, she said it was an argumentative question and she responded in kind.
Next question.
Whoa. Judge.
Is this what's going on with this judge? I mean, there's something really radically wrong with her.
Number one, don't say that in front of a jury while I'm standing there. Don't do it.
Remember what we said about it being a jury trial?
Because I would ask for a sidebar and say, Judge, can you tell them to disregard what you just said?
You're the judge who said you literally cannot say objection hearsay because that might affect the jury.
It looks really bad, and I love it. I love every second of it because the jury picks up on everything, just like you and I do.
But then you're like, you asked an argumentative answer, and she responded in, fuck off, Judge.
When they see the judge protecting this woman at all costs from this big bad lawyer that they believe, they trust Jackson at this point.
She's trying to influence the jury to not like the defense team and Karen.
Is all backfiring. Every instance is backfiring.
And this is highly prejudicial. It's highly inflammatory.
You cannot be saying stuff like that in front of the jury. It was an argumentative question. She responded in kind.
If you wanted to make the comment, maybe that's one for your inside voice, right? And by your inside voice, I mean the most inside room in the house, the one with the toilet, which is where you can flush that opinion.
You also testified in your direct examination, staying with Ms. Roberts for just a second, about a timeline that you and Ms. Roberts put together, correct?
Yes.
That's another example of the two of you talking about your own perceptions and comparing and contrasting those perceptions and putting it down on paper, correct?
No,
Yes or no?
it's a no. Can I explain or no?
I'm sure
No.
Mr. Brennan will have follow-up questions.
The little smirk. I don't know. Was the jury watching?
Yeah, Brennan can let you explain. You can shut up. You can answer the question, and then you can, like, that's it. That's all you get. So, nope. Answer the question or be gone.
They asked you, was there anyone else that you contacted in that 10-minute period before we got a chance to talk to you? And your answer was no, correct?
Correct.
And that was a lie, correct?
It wasn't a lie. No.
Was it true?
I mean, the thing is there is room in between truth and a lie. The room in between truth and a lie is there's a mistake.
Was it the truth or a lie?
It wasn't a lie.
Okay, so it was the truth. You had not spoken to any other person between the time they contacted you telephonically and you said, I need 10 minutes.
You know, I made an error. I forgot. It was so long ago, back in the heady days of 10 minutes prior.
And then they came in the door. During that part of time, you didn't talk to anybody else or contact anybody else other than Matt McCabe and Carrie Roberts.
There's no way you forgot in 10 minutes.
How can she be expected to remember 10 minutes ago?
Now you're testifying that was a true statement.
No.
I can't.
No, she didn't say it was true. She said it wasn't a lie. It's not true, but it's also not true. And if you can't answer a yes or no question about whether it's a lie or it's true, then it's probably because it's, not true.
Do you really think that anybody believes you, woman?
Come on. Like, yeah.
You're a monster.
I explained that I had forgotten to mention a couple of people that I had reached out to.
A couple?
You had forgotten.
A couple.
Is that your testimony?
Yes.
You had forgotten. You remembered Matt and you remembered Carrie, but you had forgotten the others that you had just contacted maybe 30 minutes before.
Yes.
There were 5 people. Let's go through them. I'm just asking yes or no.
5?
I know 4 off the top of my head.
Okay, let's go through them.
Okay.
You contacted your husband, correct?
Yes.
You contacted Carrie Roberts, correct?
Matt?
Yes.
Carrie?
You contacted Peggy O'Keefe.
Peggy O'Keefe, same reason she calls Carrie Roberts. Okay, if Peggy O'Keefe was on our side, this would be over by now. The fact that they have the O'Keefes tied around their fingers is why we're even debating any of this right now.
Then, Ms. McCabe, you contacted the district attorney's office, correct?
My witness advocate.
The witness attorney's office.
My witness advocate who works for the district attorney's
Thank
office.
you, Ms. McCabe.
Yes.
The DA's
And-
office?
Who else does she call? The DA's office, of course. What does she want from the note from the DA's office? What's going on here? Like she's like, are we cool? Let's just say this was a huge surprise to the district. This was a surprise motherfucker to them too. They didn't know any of this shit was happening. None of them did.
You also left out
Busy 10 minutes.
that you contacted Brian Albert himself.
What?
Correct?
Yes, my brother-in-law.
For some reason, your brother-in-law.
They called Brian Albert. Why call Brian Albert? Why him? Unless you're a co-conspirator in a murder with him and like, Brian, are we okay? Of course. She doesn't call Nicole Albert. She calls Bri.
Who's the 30-year Boston police detective, correct?
He's going to help take care of your problems. That's what he does. Without those two are the leaders of the whole thing. Brian and Jen.
Yes.
And on whose lawn John O'Keefe was found dead or dying. Objection.
Girl.
Correct?
Yes.
Holy shit. It's a lot of phone calls in 10 minutes. She's like, I didn't brush my teeth. That's not the problem. You hit everyone in your favorites.
Matt, Carrie, Peggy, DA, Brian Albert. Yikes.
Just down the line.
You previously indicated that Caitlin's boyfriend, Tristan, left early for whatever reason. He had errands to run or had to get to bed early for some reason. Is that right?
He left before us, yes.
So he didn't stay through the shank of the evening.
Through the what?
The shank of the evening, through the course of the evening.
Oh, okay.
Shank. He threw in shank
Is that
because
right?
it'll remind her of prison.
And ultimately,
The shank of the evening? What?
What?
Is that an expression that just I haven't been exposed to?
What the fuck phrase is that?
The shank of the evening?
We might have an Allen word of the day today, y'all. The shank of the evening.
I've never heard shank of the evening either. So I don't know if that's a New England expression, but I've never heard it. So I was also confused.
Apparently the shank of the evening is like the main part of the evening, the sort of best part of the night.
Dictionary.com says informal usage. It can be the early or main part of a period of time. It was just the shank of the evening when the party began. That is dead ass what is on dictionary.com. The later part of a period of time, they didn't get started until the shank of the morning. Okay.
If my clients are talking about the shank of the evening, they're probably talking about what stabby thing they brought out.
We might have an AJ word of the day.
your attention.
I'm probably going to use that sometime.
Brian Albert and his family had a dog on January 29th, 2022. Did they not?
Yes, they did.
There was this dog called Chloe.
What kind of dog was Chloe?
German Shepherd.
Big dog.
Yeah, good sized dog. Yes.
Wasn't a little munchkin dog. It was a full-size German
it's
Shepherd.
a full size. Yeah.
Going into the house, January 29th.
A munchkin dog, not a yip yip dog.
Potter is not a little munchkin dog.
And we're going to hear testimony later that Chloe sleeps in the same bedroom as Brian and Nicole Albert.
Dog sleeps in the room. She doesn't remember the dog, didn't see the dog.
Now, there's all this action outside. There's a screaming woman outside. Karen Reed is screaming and beyond hysterical.
So at least 6:40 when you went in, there were still emergency vehicles with lights on and engines running.
Carrie Roberts is screaming back at Karen Reed to shut the F up. So
when she opened the unlocked door and all the chaos is outside all these people.
Everyone's screaming at each other. There's a lot of chaos.
Chaos, relative chaos, bedlam, as somebody has said.
Bedlam.
Bedlam. Here we
It
go.
was more on their side lawn and down the street, kind of like all the cruises. A lot of them were behind their yacht.
Do you notice that? Listen to that lie. And this is how I know they've been coached. This shit happened right in front of Brian Albert's window. So, you know, what could we do to fix that? Well, let's just exaggerate. Let's just say it happened like down the street. But like it was on the side yard. Like the side yard's so fucking far away. Hit Brian Albert's window is right here. That's Brian Albert's bedroom window. All right. She's making it seem like, oh, it was way down the fucking street. Wait, no, it was right there. It was right there.
Right in front of 34 Fairview, correct?
To the side, in the side yard of 34 Fairview, yes.
You would think that this may have an effect on a dog.
So you've got ambulances and cars and people out there screaming and shelling. That dog's gonna be barking.
Was the dog there or was it not? How could you not have noticed the dog?
Would you say that you were loud or quiet?
She's struggling because she's like, well, if I say quiet, that's fucking weird because I should be panicking right now, right? So, but if I say loud, that's a problem because Chloe will wake up.
And then the next part, the dog is definitely not going to sleep through.
Dog wasn't barking, didn't hear it when she walked in the house, walked up the stairs, walked in the room, and woke them up.
I'm not buying it.
Yep, me neither.
And I remember thinking, I don't want to startle them, but I have to wake them up because obviously when I wake them up, they're going to be panicked and
I don't want them to panic. Why the fuck wouldn't they panic? There's a dead guy on the front lawn.
think something terrible happened.
Well, why didn't you want to startle them? Something terrible had happened.
Exactly, AJ. I didn't want to startle them and have them think something horrible happened. Something horrible did happen, ma'am.
You wouldn't have a heart attack, but you should definitely be alert from after that. Like, why wouldn't you want to wake them fucking up?
I don't need to see my transcript. I know what I know and I know what I remember. So
That's not my question. I'm not asking what you remember now. I'm asking how you testified a year ago now.
Right. So I don't need to look at the report. You know why she doesn't want to look at the report? Because it's going to make her look like shit again.
Because the report's different from what she's saying now.
Right.
So
right.
she's like, well, that report's wrong. No, it's not. That's what
So you mean you lied?
Her credibility may be worse to me this trial than the last one.
The testimony and evidence doesn't change.
Yeah.
So and now she's literally trying to change it, and you can't do that. And I hope it comes back to bite her.
It will.
Just refusing to remember. I don't remember. I'm not going to remember. And that's it. That to me is tough. That to me is tough.
whether I said it was as we're fighting over silly words, whether I said it as I got out of the car, we were there.
Words matter. They matter a lot.
Words matter.
So remember, Mr. Jackson, no comment.
Words matter. I loved that. Words matter. Put it on a shirt, Jackson.
We're fighting over silly words. No, we're fighting over your testimony where you said something different under oath a year ago.
Oh my God. He's like, we're fighting over words. Yeah, words matter.
Matter, exactly.
Words matter, people.
Absolutely.
But now she's basically trying to say, well, that testimony is wrong. What I'm saying now is proper. No.
No.
That's not the way it works. That's not the way it works.
Is that a transcript of your entire testimony at the grand jury in April of 2022?
Oh, boy.
I believe so, yes.
Ms. McCabe, turn to the page or pages in that transcript where you recount to the grand jurors that my client said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
This is over 227 pages.
Okay, we'll wait.
How long did you say it was, Ms. McCabe?
227.
I'm not going to let her read 227 pages.
Let her read it. Let her read it.
I reviewed it a year ago, yes.
You read the whole thing cover to cover, didn't you?
I skimmed through it.
She did this last time too. He says, show me in that transcript in front of the grand jury where you ever said to the grand jury, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. She did the same thing last year. We just talked about it. This is 227 pages. The judge says, okay, how long is it? Did you say? Listen, 227. That's crazy. She Googled how long did I hold in 227. She took the stand yesterday at 227. It's 227 pages. I don't know. I got the Angel's number book. I'm going to get it.
One of the most important points in your testimony yesterday and today.
Chat, you can't make up that it's 227 pages.
I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Is that right?
Jenny 3 times.
To the form of that, I'm sustaining it.
In your entire grand jury testimony, you never said, my client said the words, I hit him, did you?
Again, it's 227 pages.
Is it
Ms. McCabe, you were
227
there.
pages?
They're your words. I'm not asking you to rehearse something. You were there. Did you tell the grand jurors that my client said I hit him?
I have testified a number of times, but I was there the morning of January 29th when your client said I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
Did you tell that to the grand jurors?
I'm not sure.
It's because you didn't, did you?
No. Again, I'm not sure.
Ms. McCabe, you were asked in your grand jury testimony no fewer than a dozen times, 12 times, you were asked to repeat words that my client said both before going to and at the scene at 34 Fairview that morning. Correct?
Objection.
Do you know the answer to that?
No.
I don't know.
Turn to page 193.
I'd object.
What grounds?
So I don't want to have to see it sidebar. We need context in order for this to be admissible, Mr. Jackson. I have no idea what that said.
Your Honor, everyone, I can make an offer of proof at sidebar if you
Okay,
wish.
why don't you come to sidebar?
Sure.
And bring
She's
that-
like, I don't want to go to sidebar. And he's like, but we got to go to sidebar. And she's like, fine. Sidebar.
Do they have a lot of sidebars in this case, Allison?
So many sidebars.
I hate you, Jackson, but sidebar.
That can be frustrating for a jury.
And now we see that he's been sent to the back of the room. Paul O'Keefe has been sent to the back. I'm guessing he misbehaved.